here for one thing, and that is Echo Arena, and that is to push VR and esports forward and be the pioneers going into the future.
What's the point?
This is getting a little ridiculous. And if you or anybody ever wanted even more evidence that Meta, or what used to be Oculus,
Zuckerberg
really doesn't
scares
care
me. He
about
looks like
you
an
at all,
android.
well, something just happened that should give
Zuckerberg looks like some type of android Pinocchio. It just scares me.
you all of the evidence that you should ever need. And it's probably only gonna get worse from here on. And to be real, it's getting to the
damn,
point
Dark
now that
Spike.
I have no clue how Meta is even getting away with this. If this were any other segment of gaming, really any other company in the gaming industry, this would not be okay. This would be
I
everywhere.
look like an
Everyone would be
unfinished
talking
AI?
about it.
That's
And the
because
company
I
would
am.
either have to change or be voted the worst company in the world twice in a row and then change. But that just isn't gonna happen with Meta. And I have a pretty good feeling I know exactly why. But you know what? Let's just calm down a little bit. What exactly happened here? Let me just start from the top. But warning, this actually gets pretty deep, so buckle up. It was just announced in a Medium post that the longtime classic Echo VR will lose official support immediately, and that the servers will be terminated August 1st of this year. Echo VR.
Okay, how long has that been out? And is there anybody in chat right now that plays this game? It must be a banger of a title because people are getting upset about it.
Being developed by Ready at Dawn, one of the many Meta-owned VR game studios previously responsible for some pretty big games, including one of my favorite VR games of all time. And honestly, this isn't all that weird. This sort of thing happens in games all the time.
Man.
And it's kind of the problem with live service games in general. You play them until either you get bored or they get shut down. And after they're shut down, they're just gone forever. But usually they
Here's the thing, man. They like on titles like this that are classic titles. Why shut them down, especially with the cash that they got? Even like why would you even do that as Zuckerberg? Like, you know, like you're changing your company's name to Meta. You're getting yourself, you're literally putting yourself in the zone of becoming the centralized leader of the metaverse space by calling yourself Meta, and then you're taking VR title support away. It makes no sense. Like, that is such a disconnected line of logic.
They don't just get shut down randomly. Big things have to happen. Either a company goes bankrupt, or there just aren't enough players playing the game to make it worth keeping the servers up, or some crazy weird legal battle happen. And this is exactly where the fishy weird part comes in. Look, I don't need to tell you that VR is pretty niche. VR in general just doesn't pull in the numbers that Call of Duty or Overwatch or Fortnite does, obviously. But there are still millions of active daily VR users between the Quest and PC VR and PSVR, and the vast majority of them are on the Quest 2. And things start looking really fishy when you realize that Echo VR is one of the most popular VR games on the entire market. And it's also one of, if not the most popular multiplayer game that Meta owns. And it's certainly one of, if not...
Okay, what's going on? What's going on here, says Beardy Man. Listen, what's going on? I need to know the answer now. Why?
The most popular esport that Meta owns, with the only competition being Onward. And it's had 7 seasons of paid cosmetics from this very active user base, including 7 battle passes. So it can't be a money thing. So why is it getting shut down then? And here's what the company had to say. At Ready at Dawn, we pride ourselves on being open and communicative with our community. To that end, we have news to share. After many discussions...
Wait, what a way to start it out. What a way to start it out. We pride ourselves on being open and communicative with our community. That's such crap. I hate that. I hate that type of speak. I don't even want people to like, don't compliment yourself as you're shutting things down. We're so great at communicating with our community that we're going to shut down one of the most popular titles ever. That is a huge disconnect. Another huge disconnect.
Internally and with our partners at Meta, we have made the difficult decision to shut down Echo VR.
Why?
And it was made for many good reasons, and chief among them is that the studio is coming together to focus on our next project. We can't say anything about it yet, but we are all...
It's a labor issue. It's the amount of people. See, now, okay, that's somewhat legitimate. I understand, but damn, if that isn't cutting off your nose to spite your face, you know, you get yourself in a serious predicament where you are dependent upon bringing your cash flows in, and then then you literally cut off what is giving you that cash flow because you want to focus on another project that may or may not bring in that same cash flow. That's a risk. That's a gamble. That's kind of ballsy, but that's kind of stupid at the same time. They don't have the manpower. And how can they not have the manpower? If this is supported through Meta, they should have the cash to continue forward unless the CFO doesn't know what he's doing.
All excited and need all hands on deck, end quote. Okay, so I'm not sure who made the decision at either Meta or Ready at Dawn to go shut down the entire game, but I just have to ask whoever made that decision, just how out of touch with your own community of your game and your platform do you really have to be? And you know what? Here's
dead on. This is why I love watching this dude. He's absolutely right. This guy I consider like a journalist.
just a small snippet of a video that I came across from a year ago by the community of Echo VR. Just watch this for a second, and I think my tone will make sense here.
Echo VR to me is a promise from my childhood fulfilled.
Echo Arena is way more than just a regular computer game.
It transcends what the most people would call a game.
And I've probably met my closest friends that I'll ever have because of this game.
As a person,
Connections in the VR world, man, are going to be that much more meaningful. They already are. They already are. You know, ask Elsie, ask Starlet, ask Minxie, ask anybody in our community that's in VR and plays regularly. I bet you ask Darkspike. I bet he'll say the same thing. There is much more of a connection because you're there. It's visceral. It feels more real. And that is a very big plus and why the user base continues to grow for VR. That's why adoption is off the wall with VR. Connections are actually being made that much better. God, I hope Nope does not get VR. That would be scary, Chrono. If Nope with VR would be like, oh my God. Chrono, dude, you scared me.
person that I met in Echo that I will be marrying this coming fall.
So one of the most important aspects will be live service
We're gonna
games,
miss you, bro.
like
Hope
Echo
all is
VR,
well, man.
Beat Saber, Onward.
Have a good
We're
day,
focused
Tech.
on this
Thanks for
a
being
lot
here,
right
dude.
now, making sure games can build out active communities.
Oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy. When like how long is it going to take the corporate world to realize that there's nothing real about this? We were talking about this last night. We were talking about it on the Inside Star Citizen Review, and Sean Tracy was up there talking. He got that whole salesman vibe, that salesman speak. Listen, if you're a manager or a CEO of a company that's going to be releasing this type of content, right, for the masses, you cannot have this woman here acting this out. It is not real. It's got to be passionate and genuine. Gamers are the truest people in the world, man. They can smell it. They can smell it. And this leather jacket is just giving me a whole bunch of stink right now. Same as Sean Tracy last night. He was giving that kind of salesman-y pitch. You know, I loved what the work that was being done, right? I loved what's happening with Arena Commander. I just didn't like the fact that Sean Tracy was pitching it, you know, and it just falls flat when he does that. And I'm like, dude, if you are a CEO or you're a manager and you're watching content like this, then you in fact are also disconnected with your gamer base because you think that this is what gamers want to see. It's not what gamers want to see at all.
Making sure games can build out active communities.
Oh boy. This is the game that you're shutting down? This is the community that you're smashing out of existence? And it's not like the game is failing either.
It's okay.
Relative
It's okay. They're communicative. They're communicative with their community. So it's okay. Everything's okay. No fire burning here.
in terms of games and
I hope so too, bro. By the way, thank you. Apparently a fan just met me in real life and didn't say anything here where I'm at. So that was interesting. And I would love to go to Columbus where Equinox is at. They got a great stadium there. It's awesome. And I hope that I can as well be at Equinox on June 3rd. I will try my best, Strat. I love you, Strat. I love what you're doing. I love the community you guys are building. I think what you guys are doing are really cool. And if you would like to, let me know. You can advertise it in our Discord as well because I totally support you and what you guys are doing over there.
companies that Meta owns, this is pretty much Meta's biggest IP that they own, except for Beat Saber, but that's Beat Saber. And it's almost the equivalent of like if Microsoft stopped supporting Halo and just said, sorry, Infinite shuts down in 5 months. We need all hands on deck to make whatever game is next. Sorry about all the time you spent, sorry about all the money you've spent, but we've thought really hard about this and this is the best decision for us. What?
Right.
Okay, so this actually does get a lot more complex and way more interesting and really tells a lot about what's going behind the scenes at Meta. And oh boy, we're gonna get into that. But I gotta make a point real quick. For a game that has a very active user base, a user base that has spent hundreds of dollars each user and thousands of hours within it, and for a community as dedicated to not only Echo VR as a game, but Ready at Dawn and Meta as well, does it really take that much extra work just to keep servers up so these people can just keep playing, so that their money and their time wasn't just poof gone, or even just move to peer-to-peer, no server costs, you don't even have to update it, just let people play on forever. But I also know that it can't be a cost thing. You're freaking owned by Meta, the biggest spender on the metaverse in the world.
Right.
You guys brag about dropping 10 billion like it's nothing. And I know Meta's going through some very heavy budget cuts, but if this is where you're really cutting your budget, Meta has their priorities way wrong. Because if this is true, this proves something that I've known in the back of my head for a long time that I've really tried to ignore. But not only does Meta not give a crap about you, but they really don't give a crap about you. And they
so true. They're just trying to get their data back. They're just trying to get you back. They're just trying to find new ways to figure out how to mine the data that you are. They're mining you. And when Apple did what they did, which was a genius corporate move and blocked a revenue stream from Facebook, it killed Facebook's revenue. When Apple had a technology that came out that essentially wouldn't let Facebook on the Apple platform I'm not quite sure in exactly the way that they did it, but it cut off a huge revenue stream that Facebook was collecting. And literally, I think, was the spark or the genesis in why they called themselves Meta, because they lost their ability to make revenue on the data that they mined, which is you. And Apple's like, yeah, of course we're going to do this because we're going to benefit from this. And they're going like war mode. They're going war mode. It's a war game. As these technological companies get bigger and bigger, it's all a war game. Look what's happening with Google. Look how ChatGPT came in and disrupted the entire Google ecosystem. You know, tech is a hard business to be in. Tech's one of those businesses that can turn on you so quick. It's definitely hard, but like they're mining the data off you. So you know, this is just a way in which they're saying to themselves, maybe this isn't the best way to collect you, and we're not getting what we want from it. So perhaps we're not going to support it anymore.
They obviously don't give a crap about VR's current user base either. All they give a crap about is what they can attain in the future. Because if they did, there's no way they could ever make a decision like this. There just has to be some ulterior motive. Otherwise, I'm crazy, right? Either Ready at Dawn has a new game on the way that they just haven't announced yet, and they really don't want to split their player base for a new game, or maybe they're pulling the good old Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 thing where they discontinue the service of one to start the next, which only really works if you announce the next thing first before you cancel the first one. Or there's something way weirder going on, and it has to do with something you probably didn't expect. Gorilla Tag. Put your tinfoil hat on, boys and girls. This is a bit of a rabbit hole, but it may explain exactly why Echo VR is about to be dead. And it's not just because Meta doesn't care. It's more than likely because Ready at Dawn, Meta's first big acquisition and developer of Echo VR, is incapable of working on Echo VR. They more than likely no longer even have the talent to do so. And I will say, if you do have the talent, then prove us all wrong. You can do it. But back to my reasoning. coming. Ready at Dawn isn't some indie studio. Looking at their previous titles, they have some of the most talented developers out there. In fact, the reason why Echo VR and Lone Echo are so crazy good is because they pioneered VR game development and practically made this out of nothing back in 2017. But after a Meta acquisition, some high-level developers leaving the company or being put on other Meta projects entirely, well, there's a thing called employee attrition, where talent leaves a company but is never replaced. And this couldn't be more true than this story I'm about to tell you. This is gonna blow your mind. So let's go all the way back to the 3 original Echo VR beta testers, later becoming world finalists in an Echo VR esports competition. Obviously, all 3 of these guys loved VR, and all 3 of them eventually even built their own VR games or applications out of their inspiration and love for VR. One of them built something.
That's passion. You see, that passion translate. These guys developed the game. They're winning their own game. They're loving it. They're loving everything about their game. They're super passionate. The fire's burning in their hearts. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the game comes from. You can see the passion from these gentlemen that created it. And then the people that are playing the game, they feel that passion. They feel that passion the second they log in, man. They feel it when they log in. So what's going on?
Called Vertex Stadium, and half that actually later helped with Echo VR tournaments. Another built something called Grab, and the last beta tester is known as...
Hold on, I gotta rewind this. Thank you. Thank you, Wani. 5 months. Thank you. You're a professional, dude. Okay, I gotta hear what's going on with these developers.
Later helped with Echo VR tournaments. Another built something called Grab, and the last beta tester is known as Lemming, and he made a little game that you guys might recognize, Gorilla Tag.
What?
But it actually gets a little spicier. Not only was Gorilla Tag built by one of the most successful hardcore OG Echo VR players of all time, but its massive breakout success, which shouldn't be understated, attracted a couple of people that are very important to the story. In a since-deleted blog post from only 6 months ago, Lemming announced that his 2 new hires were David Yee, a director and studio manager at Oculus for 7 years, who then became Gorilla Tag's new chief operating officer, and David Newbelt, project lead.
Bingo says, this is good. Bingo says, isn't winning attorney for the game you made a dick move? What, they couldn't find anyone else to play? Listen. Sometimes, yeah, that could be considered a dick move for sure. In this instance, I feel like it's a passionate thing. I think I mean, you can see the dudes were crying after they won. You know what I mean? They were legit crying.
At Ready at Dawn for 14 years and 10 months, and the project lead for Echo VR. David Newbelt came on as the chief technical officer of Another Axiom, which is Gorilla Tag's company. And here we are. You know what? Just let that sink in for a moment. Gorilla Tag may have killed Meta's biggest VR game. Of course, we don't know that. There could be a million factors here, and it's not the fault of Gorilla Tag or Lemming. Ready at Dawn has been in what feels like development hell for a long time. Just look at Lone Echo 2, come on. And I don't blame the executives for leaving Ready at Dawn, especially after being acquired by Meta and talent likely being traded out of the company.
Holy shit, what game is that? What game is this what is this? What game is this right here? Anybody know that? That was badass. I want to play this. Is this it? Is this part of the game? Is this actually also Echo? Is it the same thing that's being shut down? Wow. Oh my God. I'm upset. I don't even play it. It's the single player part. Holy shit. I'm upset now. I'm literally upset. I've never played this game and I'm upset. You understand that? Do you understand that? Wow. I have never played this game and I am now upset, man. Just from watching this, thinking to myself, wow, this is awesome.
And talent likely being traded out of the company, especially leaving for something like Gorilla Tag, which is a true sensation right now. I mean, it's a good move career-wise. And After digging all this up, I honestly think that Ready at Dawn is just a skeleton crew with a ghost at the helm. The people that made Lone Echo and Echo VR what it was are scattered all over Meta Reality Labs or in different companies, or maybe even laid off in this giant round of layoffs. And the only way this decision makes sense is if Ready at Dawn is completely incapable of working on Echo VR moving forward, which is why it's dying. And looking at all this, that seems pretty likely. And like I said, if I'm wrong here, checkmate, prove me wrong. Because this still isn't okay. I don't care if you have a skeleton crew or if Ready at Dawn has been picked clean by Reality Labs so badly that they only have interns left. You can't leave your game an entire—
Yeah, I mean, this game looks like 50 times better than whatever that other Gorilla, what was it called? Gorilla Tag. This game looks like 50 million times better than Gorilla Tag, and the focus needs to be put back into this game, obviously. The gamers have spoken. Like, I feel like the gamers have spoken on this one. All right, listen. If you want to Echo, type 1. If you want Gorilla Tag, type 2. Let's just decide it right now for Meta. I'm going to type a 1 because this looks awesome. Yeah, I'm typing a 1. I would definitely pick this over Gorilla Tag. It's just, I mean, like, right. It's a no-brainer. Could you imagine choosing Gorilla Tag over this? There has to be some type of different extenuating circumstances. There's some, like, something going on with the group as well. Maybe they're not getting along so good anymore. But, like, man,
community to just die. And if the entire team is still there at Ready at Dawn, which I really hope is not the case, because that really means that you don't care about your player base. All you have to do is something super basic and simple. Don't kill the game, keep the servers up. This is not a dead game. You don't have to kill it. It's one of the only games like it ever made, and it still has hundreds of active players. In fact, this is the game that was the background of my very first video on this channel. This has a deep connection with VR history and the VR community. And Meta, if you're really so broke that you gotta take down servers, at least make it peer-to-peer before doing so it's not completely wasted. Because if you take this down, not only are thousands of people's hard-earned money and time playing the game just gonna be gone forever to never be accessed again, but all the work of the developers that made this game is just poof, gone as well. And come on, just show us that you care a little bit. This is your core community. And well, if there's one thing I do guarantee you, it's that this VR industry is very small. And I don't know personally if I could ever trust Ready at Dawn ever again after this, if this actually goes through. It's really sad from one of my favorite developers of all time to this. And I know that I'm not the only one. Maybe it was the Meta acquisition, maybe it was Gorilla Tag, maybe it was a combination of so many things that I can't even wrap my brain around. Either way, just don't kill the game, Ready at Dawn. It's easy. Keep Echo VR alive, not just for another year, not just for 2, let it live forever, peer-to-peer. It's what the community deserves.
Is it fingers?
Well, that was something for sure. And if you've been around all my other content and the channel, you would have noticed that I haven't been uploading nearly as much. And it's because I'm really trying to figure out where I want to take this channel. And I think I have some pretty fun changes coming, but definitely have some patience with me. And also let me—
All right. Thrill Seeker, you know, you're going through some tough times. Perhaps that was why you ghosted me. I'll forgive you. He's a busy man. I enjoy Thrill Seeker's content. And I think this dude's actually, like, he approaches topics as a journalist, and I appreciate him, and I appreciate the work that he puts in this channel. I hope he keeps posting relevant topics in the VR world and the Web3 world because he knows a lot about it. He's a pioneer in the space. And Thrill Seeker, if you're watching, dude, I know you do from time to time. Listen, keep focusing on this, man. It's your passion. You know it's your passion. You don't have to change a goddamn thing. You're doing great, man. Just keep being you. And, you know, keep posting the content that you love, just like we do here on this channel. We just keep posting other people's content, and I watch and talk over it and make it much more spicy and even more original. Some people call it parasitic. I don't. But I'm a parasite, so, you know, you can't listen to me. Low effort. Low effort. Thank you. Can I get some applause for being low effort? Welcome to DG360 in the morning. You guys having a fun morning with me this morning? We have been streaming for an hour and a half. We've got a fun show planned for everybody. Thank you for being here. Please consider supporting and joining the community. We watch what you watch. You guys post things that are fascinating in our Discord. You can go over there right now. And if you do, you'll see a section called Look at This DG, where you can post amazing, amazing links for us to watch, which is what we do on the morning show. And the other cool thing is you can actually win, like our friend Cypher did, $25 every month. The winner for the person who puts the clip that gets the most views to this channel gets $25. That's right. And that'll never stop. We're going to bring giveaways in soon. We're going to be giving a Liberator away, which is a Star Citizen package. It's a ship in the game. That's pretty cool. Small base transport carrier of sorts. We're not going to debate upon the ship type and what you can do with it. I would like to use the Liberator to liberate myself and park it on a hill and then become the king of it, of that particular hill. It's a smaller hill. There's not much to own on it. There's a coconut tree and perhaps an ocean surrounding it. Maybe it's an island. Perhaps I'm isolating myself, but it's okay because I have the internet and I'm streaming to you. Now, let's get back to the show and let's get super serious. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm going off track this morning. I'm going right off the tracks, Pepe. Going right off the tracks.